Hey there, Dustin here, co-founder of MouseDining. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Otherwise, welcome back. So as I thought about what I wanted to cover today, I recalled a recent conversation I had with a colleague that just joined the same co-working space where MouseDining's at. And after speaking with her and telling each other what we did, I realized I was just answering a lot of those common questions that you tend to about something new. That like who is it, what is it? So I went through and I was like, well, the who, what, when, where, and why of mouse setting that would make for some great content. So I thought just a quick video today. I want to cover one, what is mouse dining? Two, why should you use mouse dining? Three, where to find mouse dining. Four, who should use mouse dining. And last, five, when to use mouse dining. So let's get started. Okay, first, what is mouse dining? I actually have a kind of a dictionary version answer of this, and it's usually what you'll see on search engines and in my Google ads, and that's just because it's really keyword stuffed and everything, but it's really specific, and it goes something like this. Mouse dining is a Disney dining alert service that notifies you when last minute or hard to find dining reservations become available. I mean, that's a real mouthful, but I tried to simplify that a little bit. But what it boils down to is just mouse dining sends you alerts when Disney reservations open up at their restaurants. And that's really more simplified. But if you've ever tried to book dining reservations at Disney, you'd probably understand why this is necessary. So that's what mouse dining is. But that also brings me to number two. Why should you use mouse dining? So to illustrate this, I'm going to do a couple things, but the first thing I'm going to do was we're going to go through this step by step, just as you would today. So let's go try and book some dining reservations at Disney and see what happens. Okay, so I'm on Disney's website. I'm under things to do, make reservations, and that'll give you a huge list of restaurants at Disney where you can make dining reservations, and I've just selected Be Our Guest. It's one of the more popular, and it's just a good example restaurant that I often use. So we're here and we're gonna check availability. We want to book some dining reservations. Let's do it. All right, I'm going to book a little bit out in the future because those tend to be a little easier, but I'm also going to try for a Tuesday, which is relatively a slower day compared to the rest. But let's look for lunch on Tuesday, June 1st, for my party of 5. And it tells me, sorry, there's nothing available. Let's try a few more days just to further illustrate this. There's the next day, Wednesday, nothing. Let's try Thursday, nothing. And let's try dinner. Let's try a different meal. Nothing on Thursday. Let's try Wednesday. Yeah, because by the time you get into the weekend, you know it's going to be busier and it's a little more difficult even then. So, all right, so we've just checked 6 different reservations to see if we could find something at Be Our Guest, and all of them returned back nothing. Honestly, I'm not surprised, but this, interestingly enough, this is the struggle that Emily, my wife, experienced when she was trying to book our first dining experience at Disney at Cinderella's Royal Table. And like I said, this was about 6 or 7 years ago. The website's changed a little bit. Everything seems to be a little more speedy and whatnot, but the process is still the same. She was on the website all the time. Any spare minute she could find, she was on here just, checking again and again and again, hoping that this would pop up and say something different. And after that and through that experience, she was like, man, I really wanted to tell somebody. I wanted to call somebody at Disney or email them or text them and just say, hey, this is when my family's going to be there. Can you just call or email me or text me like when that becomes available, and I'll hurry and go book it. And that was the aha moment that really spawned the creation of Mouse Dining. So you can thank her for that, and she's happy to take the credit. But that's how Mouse Dining came to be. So that's the first reason why it exists. Second is I want to show you what you can do now with Mouse Dining that we've put together. And this is unique and exclusive to Mouse Dining, but this is our availability calendar. So I've come and looked at Mouse Dining's availability to see when there is availability at Be Our Guest restaurant. Interestingly enough, most of it's full, but it's telling us right this very moment there is a lunch dining reservation available. Let's actually try and book that. I'm curious to see if this will work. Maybe. And we're going to get sorry for the pause. Yep. So all that means, this is an error on Disney's website, but all that means is that reservation, Disney or MouseDining saw that reservation, and we came to try and book it, and somebody beat us to it. It already filled. And if we come back to MouseDining, this is still going to show it's available until the next time we go and check again. So we check about every 5 to 30 minutes, just depending on a series of criteria. But Be Our Guest is pretty popular, so it's probably in that 5 to 10 minute range. We're checking just to see if anything opens up. We did see something, but by time I clicked that, it was already gone. And that happens. Just try again when that happens. But that illustrates exactly, like, this is a view that is gorgeous and beautiful and super useful. It mirrors your calendar on your wall, so you can quickly see your Sunday to Saturday view and quickly see at a glance if anything is open. And this is telling us that, hey, Be Our Guest is a pretty popular restaurant and it's hard to get into. So you're best to find the dates you're going to be there and set an alert. And I'll have a tutorial that shows you exactly how to do all that and how to do everything else within the MouseDining service, but I'll save that for another video. But that is why MouseDining should be used. Third, where to find MouseDining. This one is super easy. So if you just go to any internet browser that has access to the internet, point it to mousedining.com, and you'll get to a page that looks just like this. It might be a little different on a mobile screen. Things might be shuffled around, but all the content's still there. From the homepage, quickly, you can navigate to a very specific restaurant by name. You can browse the restaurants by location in the park, by park or by resort. And then we're going to feature a few of the popular ones here that might be harder to get. And then we have a blog that we update with all the latest Disney dining news, as well as some other news that might be useful if you're headed to the parks. So that is our homepage, and that is how you found MouseDining. Let's see, moving on to number 4, who should use MouseDining? So MouseDining is really, it's for everybody. It's for an individual if you're going by yourself. It's for families, couples, parties, even travel agents and travel planners, really just anybody seeking dining reservations at Disney. And that goes for Disneyland or Disney World. And if you've tried to book those dining reservations and struggled, it's very specifically for those people. Because you can actually go to Disney and book dining reservations, no problem. There's about 140 restaurants on Disney properties between California and Florida. And really, there's only 2 or 3 dozen that are pretty busy most of the time and hard to get into. If you're trying to book one of those, MouseDining, super helpful. If you're not trying to book one of those super popular ones, you can book those right from Disney with really little issue. So that brings us to our last one, when to use MouseDining. I'm actually going to go back to Disney's website to illustrate this. But here, you can see Disney won't even take it or accept reservations beyond 60 days prior to your visit. So MouseDining only needs to be used for those 60 days prior to your visit or less. For my family, it's actually often much less. So we're close enough to the parks that we travel, maybe and plan only a week or 2 out for maybe just an extended weekend. But when we do that, those last-minute dining reservations are pretty easy to pick up with a service like MouseDining. But if you're a planner and you're right at that 60-day mark, have MouseDining right at the ready, and it's going to be looking for those dining reservations for you all 60 days, and you'll have a much better chance of booking if you're looking that whole time. But it's not impossible if you're down to just even a few days ahead, or even same day, honestly. But MouseDining really excels in those 2 cases of when to use it. So I think that's all I wanted to cover today. I mean, that's super quick, 5 quick things: who, what, when, where, why of MouseDining. That's a very broad overview of the service. I plan to make several other videos that will talk about navigating that calendar that I showed you, creating a free account and setting an alert and verifying your account, talk about benefits of upgrading, talk about what to do when you receive an alert. I'll talk about a whole lot more of those things in just short little snippet videos here coming up. But that's really all I want to cover today. So with that, I will end and say, for service updates and all your favorite Disney dining news, be sure and follow MouseDining on your preferred social platform. And until next time, hope you and or your clients are able to have a magical vacation using MouseDining. So thank you very much.